everyone. I'm Alicia from the AIBPM Nusantara staff. Thank you for your participation in 2024 AIBPM International Class. And today we will have Dr. Gan Kia Hui from INTI International College Penang, Malaysia, as the speaker, which will explain about the culture and business in Asia. Before we start the class, I want to inform you if I will share the attendance link in the end of the class, so please join until the end. Okay, before we start the session, I would like to ask you to turn on the camera so we can take photos together. So please turn on your camera so we can take the photos. Can you turn on your camera, please? Okay, please turn on your camera so we can take the photos together as our documentation. Okay, please wait. I will wait for a minute so you can turn on your camera. Okay, maybe we can take two photos together now. Please get ready. Okay, Dr. Gan Kia Hui is the head of program center for Australian degree programs, computer and lecturer at INTI International College Penang. She holds a PhD from University Sains Malaysia, and her study focuses on organizational behavior and management, as well as a psychological safety climate. She has 8 years of experience teaching in a higher education institution. Her areas of expertise in psychosocial safety climate, project management, organizational behavior, management science, business entrepreneurial simulation project, and other management papers. She won the Best Paper Award at the AIC 2023 and First International Youth Conference in 2021. For Dr. Gan Kia Hui, the time is yours.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, everyone, to attend the class. So we can proceed with our slide. Miss Alicia, can you help me share the slide? Miss Alicia, it's okay. I'm able to share the slide. Dear participants, can you see my slide? Anyone? Yes, thanks, Darshini. So I will continue from here. So very good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Gan Kia Hui, and I am very excited to be here with you today from the enchanting island of Penang, Malaysia. Imagine stepping into the heart of Penang. The air is filled with the rich aroma of the street food. Colorful murals adorn the wall, and the sound of the laughter and chatter blend together in a symphony of culture. Everywhere you look, there is a fusion of traditions. From Chinese lanterns to Indian spice and Malay carve. But here's the kickers. While all of this cultural diversity create a beautiful tapestry, it also represents unique challenges and opportunities in the world of business. Today, we are going to explore a crucial chapter that can unlock the secret of thriving in this diverse landscape, which is cross-cultural and international business. Let us embark on this journey together and discover how understanding cultural difference can turn into challenge and exciting possibility in our global marketplace. Are you ready? If yes, we will continue with our slide. I believe pretty good. Okay, come. So, what is the influence of the culture for the international management functions? Today, we are going to explore how culture plays a significant role in shaping international management function. As a business becomes increasing globally, understanding cultural difference is crucial for managers to take informed decisions and lead effectively. We will look at the specific influence of culture and how they affect the core management function, such as organizing, motivating, and decision-making. Let's begin by examining country-specific influence on management. Every nation has the unique factors that shape the business environment, including the economic system, political system, technological level, and the historical events. Economic system, a country economic structure, whether it's a market economy like the US or a mixed economy like China, directly influence how business operate in a market economy. There are more freedom for business decision making, while in a mixed economy, business need to navigate the government regulation more carefully. For the political system, if the political stability and the type of the governments in a country, whether it's a democracy or an authorization of the remit, it will affect the business operations. In democracy, business usually will enjoy greater autonomy. Where is the authorization? There can be the stricter control and less transparency in the regulations. So for the technology level, the technology adoption varies significance across the country. For instance, the country with advanced technology infrastructure like South Korea are more likely to lead the innovation, while the business in developing nations might face the challenge related with the poor infrastructure. The historical events. The country are often shaped by the significant historical events, such as a war or colonizations, which leave the lasting legacy on their business environment. For example, Japan's economy recovery after the Second War forced a culture of discipline and teamwork, which is still seen in their corporate management practice today. Now, all the country-specific factors combine with the cultural orientation to form attitudes towards the essential aspect of life, such as work, money, time, family, and even authority. This attitude, in turn, have to profound influence on how the business are managed. Let's dive into a few examples how the cultural values shape the attitude in the workplace. Attitude towards the workplace. In the individual's culture like US, people often focus on the personal achievement and career advancement. However, in collective culture like Japan, teamwork and loyalty to the company are emphasized. As a manager, you will need to adapt your leadership approach based on these cultural norms. Attitude towards money. Different cultures view money and the wealth in varied ways. In Western country, people tend to spend more freely, while in the countries like China or Malaysia, saving is highly valued. This means that compensation package may need to be structured differently to motivate employees across the culture. For the attitude towards time management is another one area where the cultural difference arise. Monochronic culture like Germany value punctuality and strict schedule. In contrast, polychronic culture like many Latin American countries are more flexible with the time. Imagine the impact this could have on the project deadlines, meeting, and negotiable. Yes, Aliva, the slide no change because all the slide I give you in the point form. So go through the lecture, I will explain. So which slide you see? Is it the influence of the culture?
It's influence of the culture.
Yes, correct. It's this one. Soon we'll choose another one. Okay, be patient. Just now where I stopped already. Okay, managing the motivations. So next point, we will look at the attitude towards change and risk. The culture differ in their approach to risk and the innovation. For example, normally American business trend to embrace the change and the risk. However, Japanese firms are more to the cautions and the prefer incremental innovation. This influence how the company approach new venture and manage the crisis. This culture attitude fit directly into how the business are organized and how the management function are carried out across the border. So let's take a closer look at a few key areas. So for the organizing and the controlling, normally the culture norms determine whether a company adopt a hierarchical hierarchical structure or a flat organization model. In high-power distant cultures like Malaysia, you will see more centralized decision-making. In the low-power distant culture like Denmark, authority is distinctions and the employee expect for more autonomy. So for the managing technology changing, how a country can embrace a new technology depends largely on its cultural orientations toward the change. Example, Silicon Valley thrives on the rapid innovations because the US culture values its risk-taking. But in the culture that resists change, you may face the challenge in rolling out a new system to process. From here, we need to motivate different employee with the understanding that drive employee in different culture is crucial and effective leadership. In the collective culture, non-monetary incentives such as recognitions from the top management may be more motivated compared to the individual rewards. In contrast, in individual cultures, performance based on the financial rewards tend to be more effective. Communications style also vary. In the high context cultures such as Japan or China, much of the communication is indirectly, and the understanding for the nonverbal cues is essential. But in low context culture like US or Germany, the communication is tend to be more explicit and direct. As a decision maker, we need to know that the decision-making process is also influenced by the cultural norms. In consensus-driven culture like Japan, decisions often take longer as the managers seek the input from all the levels of the organizations. Meanwhile, in the top-down culture like France, decisions are made quickly by senior management. For the negotiation part, normally this one is across the culture and very sensitive to the cultural difference. Example in American, they will more approach negotiation with a competitive mindset and for a quick deal. In contrast, especially in the ASEAN culture, building a long-term relationship is often prioritized over the immediate result. So actually, cultural is deeply influenced all aspects of the international management. As future for the business leader, it is crucial for you to develop a cultural intelligence and remain adaptable. Whether you are negotiating a deal, motivate your employee, or manage a cross-border team, understanding the cultural context will be enhance your effectiveness. Now we go for the next slide. So how about the international business and the cross-cultural literacy? International business is fundamental differently from the domestic business because countries are different. They are different from many ways: cultural, politic, legally, and the economy. These differences have a direct impact on how business is practiced from one country to another. If you want to be successful in global markets, you need to understand this difference, and that's where is the cross-cultural literacy come in. What is the cross-cultural literacy? Anyone want to try? What is the cross-cultural literacy? Okay, let me continue. Cross-cultural literacy refers to the understanding how the cultural difference across and within the nations can influence with the business practice. It also will know how the cultural values, belief, and the norms affect everything from the people communicate to how make decision and negotiation deals. In today's interconnect words, cross-cultural literacy is critical. Without it, even the best business strategy can fail simply because they do not align with the local custom or the way of thinking. Let's break this down into the few key points. First, culture can shop with the business practice. Every country has its own unique sets of the values that guide the behavior, both in the personal life and the workplace. What is the considered polite, professional, or respectful in one culture may be perceived very different in another. Cultural awareness reduce the misunderstanding. When we try doing business internationally, failing to understand the local costume can lead to the miscommunication, damage the relationship, or even the legal issue. So why the country are so different? Let's look at the three primary factors to make the country different from one another in terms of the business. First one, cultural norms and value. Different countries have their different expectations for how people should behave in the business setting. Example, in some country, you start a meeting by getting straight to the business, while in other, you spend the time building the personal relationship before any discussion of the work begins. Second, we will look into the legal and the political system. For this one, every country has its own legal framework, which is the common law, civil law, and even religious law. This will be affect everything from the contracts to dispute resolutions. The political system also matter. Example, when we're doing business in a democracy, where there freedom of speech and transparency is different from doing business in an authoritarian premise where rules may be unclear and the government involved is high. The third point, we will look at the economic structures, which is the country also differ in how their economy are structured. Some of the market economics like US, the business decision is largely driven by the market. Others like China operate as a mixed economy where the government plays a significant role in shaping business activity. We try to understand this difference is critical for international business successful. But one of the most significant factors of it is culture. So let's us jump in how the cultural difference influence the business practice. The cultural difference. Okay. So the cultural difference in how they communicate. Some cultures are high context, like Japan or China, meaning the communication relies heavily on context, non-verbal cues, and what is the left unsaid. In contrast, the low context culture like US, Germany, they rely on the clear, explicit communications. So if you go into the negotiation in a high context culture, expecting is direct communications, you may miss the key signal. Second, we will look at the negotiation tactic. So the approach of the negotiation can be very dramatical. In US, normally the negotiation tend to be quick and to the point. Focus on reaching on a deal. In contrast, like Japan, Malaysia, negotiation can take longer because we need to build the trust and the relationship are seen as just as important as reaching an agreement. So the third point, we will look into the management and leadership. Different cultures have different expectations for leadership. In the heretical culture like India or South Korea, normally people are expect managers to make the decision and give them a very clear direction. In more egalitarian culture like US, employees are expected to have to say in the decision making. And authority is the more decentralizations. This understanding for the culture can be different to allow the business to tailor their approach to each country. So let me give you an example in China. So what is we talking about the Chinese business culture? Is guanxi. Okay, in China, there are concept called guanxi. So what is guanxi? Is referred to the personal relationship backed by the mutual trust and their obligations. So guanxi is absolute center to doing business in China. If you are enter in the China markets, Chinese market. Understanding and building guanxi is often more important than the technical details that in your business proposal. Contrasts are important, but the strength of the personal relationship can be even more critical. However, compared to the Western business that go into the China without appreciating the guanxi often struggle because they focus only for the formalities like contracts without investing the time to build their trust and relationship. So the lesson to success doing business in China or any country for that matter, you need to understand how their culture values influence the way business is done. What is the benefit of the cross-culture literacy? We say very important. Why so important? One of the reason is we try to avoid miscommunication. With understanding cultural difference in communication style can help to prevent misunderstanding, which is to maintain the strong business relationship. Second, we try to adapting the business strategy. By understanding the local culture, companies can adapt their marketing, leadership, and negotiation strategy to fix their cultural context, which is improve their chance of success. Third is when we're building the trust and the relationship in many cultures, we know that trust are the more important than the legal agreement. So the cross-cultural literacy can help you to understand how to build and maintain the trust in the different country. Cross-cultural literacy not only just a nice to have the skill, it is essential for everyone who are involved in the international business. Cultural difference profiles affect how the business is done, and the understanding thus difference is the key navigating global market successfully. As you move forward in your career in the future, whether you are negotiating a deal, manage a team, or launch a new product in a foreign market, always remember the most important is understanding the cultural context. This knowledge will not only help you to avoid costly mistakes, but also help you to build a strong relationship between the customer. Let me go back here. Got the one point I missed out, which is the example in Malaysia. In Malaysia, the gift giving is a common practice in the business relationship. However, there are specific cultural norms and expectations that must be followed. For instance, the right type of the gift. The gift must be appropriate to the business relationship. Giving an expensive gift might seem as the excessive, while a small, thoughtful gift will be appreciated. When you present stations matter, the where a gift you present to your customer or the business partner, it will customary to offer the gift with both hands, a sign of respect in many ASEAN culture. The timing of the gift is very important. The best to give the gift is after the business negotiation has concluded, not before. Must be concluded, they only can appreciate the gift and to avoid any suggestions of the bribery. So what is culture? We keep talking culture, international business, different country got different culture. So we back to the roots. What is culture mean? At its core, culture actually is a system of the value and norms that are shared among a group of people. Together, these value and norms can create a design for living. They guide how the people in a particular group thinks, behave, and interact with one another. So culture can be seen as a toolkit, which is shaped everything from personal relationship to business dealing. So let's break it down further by looking in the key components. So sorry. So what is value? For the definitions, value are the abstract ideas about what a group of people believe to be good, right, and desirable. Example, in the Western culture, value like the individuals and the freedom are emphasized. People are encouraged to think independently and pursue their personal goals. In Eastern culture, the values such as community and harmony may be more important. The needs of the groups or family are often prioritized over the individual desire. This value influence everything, from how the people make the decisions to how the people they interact with other in the both society and the business context. After the value, we will look into the norms. What is norms? Norms are the social rules and the guideline which is prescribe appropriate behavior in a specific situation. They include the routines, conventions of everyday life and are centered to the functioning of society. So we got a few types of the norm. One of the norms is the folkways. They are the everyday costume and practice of life. They might include the things like dress codes, table manners, and greeting. In Japan, bowing is a common way to greet someone, whereas in the US, a handshake is the standard of the greeting. Most, there are the norms are more serious and are seen as a central to the functioning of a society. Violating them may result in a legal consequence or social ostracisms. So law against the thief or violence are more universal, but how this behavior are handled society and can be very widely. The norms try to help establish the social order and guide how the individual are expected to act in the different situation, including the business setting. Now we go to the next point, which is society. So what is society? Society actually is a group of the people who share a common set of the values and norms. These shared value and norms can make up the cultural framework that governs everyday interactions. A society culture influences every aspect of life, from the personal relationship to the business practice. Different society have the different expectations, and understanding this difference is the key to operating successfully in the international markets. So what is so important of the culture in international business? We try to understanding the culture is critical for any business which is operating internationally, because culture can shape the business practice. Different society have the different expectation for communications, decisions making, and leadership. In some culture, business meeting may begin with the casual conversations to build rapport, while in others, it is expected to get straight to the point. Second reason is the values and the norms impact how the people work. What the motivation to the employee, how they interact with the authority, and how they approach with the risk-taking can vary greatly between the culture. In Germany, punctuality is the strong cultural norms, and being late to a meeting may be seen as disrespectful. In other countries, time may be viewed more flexible. Third reason, understanding with the society expectation. A business fail to understand the local values and norms may struggle to grant the trust and build the leadership, which are the crucial in the long-term successful. In short, culture actually is the shared system of the value and norm within a society. It's fundamental on how the people behave, interact, and doing business. As we expand into the global market, understanding and respecting The culture of each society is the key to build the strong leadership and ensuring the business to success. So we are going to explore. What we want to explore is how the way we live, we think, interact with others to make this more relatable. I will use some example from Malaysia, which is rich in the cultural diversity. So like just now mentioned, culture is a system, which is we gather all the values and the norms and share among the group of the people and how they live their life. So in the blueprint for everything, from how we communicate, celebrate, and solve the problem to how we express ourselves through the arts, food, and traditions. So let's dive into the 6 key features of the culture and see how they apply in the Malaysia context. One of the culture we call as learned culture. Culture is not something we born with it, but it is something we learn about it. So this means that every generation teach the next generation about the traditions and values to define a society. So think of a silat. You know silat? Here I got share you with the pictures. How was the silat in Malaysia? So silat is the traditional martial arts. So silat not just about the physical skill, it also learn the cultural practice which is involved in the religious training and is rich in the philosophy. Has passed down from the generation to generation, teaching about the discipline, respect, and pride. Silat reflects Malaysia's deep cultural roots and is a symbolic of the national identity. Next, we will see the shared culture. What is the shared culture meaning here? This is not the individual things, it's something by community together through the common experience and practice. One great example in Malaysia is gotong royong. I believe all the citizens in Malaysia will very clear what is gotong royong because during our secondary, we got one subject called Pendidikan Moral. It's compulsory to do some activities. So gotong royong actually is a collective effort where all the community come together for activity like cleaning up the neighborhoods or preparing for an event. So this practice reflects Malaysia's strongest sense of the community responsibility. Everyone pitch in and it creates a sense of the belonging, remind us of the importance of work together for the common good. Next, we will see the transgeneration. So culture can be transgeneration. It gets to pass down from one generation to the next. We carry forward the tradition, the value, the knowledge from our ancestor. So Malaysia food culture is great example. Recipe like nasi lemak we pass down from our grandparents to parents, then to children to keep this flavor alive. It's not just a food. Through festival, respect for the elders, the religious practice, and also passed down, keeping Malaysia's multicultural identity alive through the generations. Next point for the cultural is symbolic. Symbolic meanings is used as a symbol to represent the deeper meanings, whether it's in the ritual, ceremonies, or even object. In the Malay wedding ceremony is full of the symbolic element. The bersanding ceremony, where is the couple sit on a platform like royalty, is a symbolic of the celebration of the love and commitment. Traditional attire, gift, and the food all reflect in the cultural values of the hospitality, we respect, and the significance of the family in Malay society. Next, we will talking about the patterns. The patterns culture is follow specific structure and the traditional that reflect the order and consistency. Okay, let's think about the batik. Okay, Malaysia also famous with the batik. So, the art of the batik is defined by repeat patterns, the beautiful flora or geometric design. This pattern reflect the natural beauty and balance that are important in Malaysian's culture. The process of the batik making has been passed down through generation, and we try to maintaining the traditional craftsmanship while evolving into the new designs. Finally, the culture is adaptive. It will change and evolve over the time, adapting to the new influence and environments. A delicious example in Malaysia is Malaysian cuisines. Malaysian food culture is a fusion of many different influences, include Malay, Chinese, India, Kadazan, Iban, and even the Western cuisines. Dishes like nasi lemak and rojak represent this adaptive quality. They show how Malaysia is open to the new idea and how the culture evolved by blending local and foreign influence into something unique. Malaysians. So to sum up, culture is a rich and complex system to learn, share, and pass down symbolic pattern and identity. Let us rest for 1 minute. Hi, welcome back. Let us continue with the few slide. I'm sorry, actually, today I'm not feeling well. You can overheard my sexy voice. Okay. So we're talking about now how we determines of the culture. Today we explore with many key of the determinants of culture and how they shape the values, norms, and behavior of the society. With understanding these factors is essential in the international business because they influence how the people work, communicates, and make decisions. First point, with looking at the political philosophy. Political philosophy plays a major role in shaping the values and the norms of a culture. It reflects how a society views the relationship between the government and its people. So what is the impact on the culture? So with this type of the political system, whether the democratic, authorizations, or something in between, affect individual freedoms, social expectation, and even the business operation. So in Malaysia, the political philosophy emphasizes the multicultural harmony and unity in the diversity. So the policy will support a balance between the various ethnic groups, which is reflects in the cultural values of respect and tolerance for the different beliefs and traditions. Second of the philosophy is about the economics. So economic philosophy concerned on how a society approach issue like wealth, distribution, trades, and labor, and its influence cultural attitude towards the work, consumption, and the wealth. So the impact on the culture is whether a country follow capitalism, socialism, or mixed economy system affect how people view success. The importance of the individual compared with the collective achievement and how they prioritize the work-life balance. So in Malaysia, we are considered a mixed economy, which is allow both private sectors and the government involvement, influence the values like entrepreneurship and collaboration. This is why many Malaysians balance both individual career growth and the collective societal welfare. The next point, we will look into the social structure. So the social structure of the society will refer to the way people are organized within that society based on based on the factors like class, family system, and the social roles. So in Malaysia, the social structure actually is heavily emphasized the family and the community bonds. So the social roles are always often influenced by age, gender, ethics, and the sense of the duty to one family and community plays a huge part in the daily life and the business interaction. Next, we will look at the religion. So the religion is one of the most powerful cultural determinants, influence not only the personal belief, but also the broader social norms, traditions, and the ethical standard. Religious belief can shape many aspects of the daily life, from the holiday and the tradition to the ethical standard in the workplace. It also plays a role in how society view authority, family, and even time management. So, Islam is the official religion in Malaysia, and it greatly influenced Malaysian culture. This is related in the holiday like the Hari Raya, ethical norms such as the halal practice in the food, and the work schedule that accommodate prayer times. The next point, we will look into the language. Language is more than a tool for the communications, and is a carrier for the culture. The words of the people reflect to their work, view, values, and the social relationship. So language can be shaped how the people perceive the reality and how they interact. It also plays a crucial role in the perceiving the cultural heritage and transmitting the value from one generation to the next. Malay is the national language in Malaysia, but English, Mandarin, and Tamil are also widely spoken. The use of the multiple language reflect that Malaysia divides culture and encourage the cross-cultural communication in both social and the business environment. The next point, we will look into the education. So education is the fundamental aspect of the culture because it's how the society pass down the knowledge, skill, and the value to the next generation. Education system help to shape the people, work, views, ethical standard, and the ability. A strong education system can foster the innovation, economic growth, and the social cohesion. In Malaysia, the education system emphasize the multiculturalism and the linguistics. This helped to foster a sense of the national unity while also preparing students to engage with the global markets and cultures. So summary for the values and norms of any culture are shaped by the various factors, which is including the political, philosophy, economic system, religions, language, and education. This can influence how the people think, act, and engage with others, with the understanding them in the crucial for the success for the international business. We will look into further how state of the cultural dimensions. This is the framework normally we use to understand how the culture differ across the country. This is the particular useful in the international business because it helps us to navigate the cultural difference and tailor our business strategy accordingly. So the first point we will see for the Hosford's the cultural dimension is the power distance. The power distance is referred to the how a society views the hierarchical relationship and the distribution in power. So in high power distance culture, people are accept that the power can distribute unequally. While in the low power distance culture, equality and the participants are values. Country like Malaysia rank high on the power distance. In Malaysia culture, hierarchy is respect. And there is a clear distinction between authority figures and the subordinates. In the workplace, boss are expected to make the decisions and the employee typically do not challenge the authority. However, the country like Denmark have the low power distance. People are more comfortable with the equality in leadership, and in business, employees are expected to be consulted and involved in the decision making. Second point, we will look into the individual and collectivism. This dimension is look at whether a society value individual achievement or group harmony. So for the individualism, this culture like US, people are prioritize their personal goals and the independency. Business dealing are often about the personal successful and the individual contribute are highlights. However, like in Malaysia, there are a strong focus on the collectivism, which is the family unit and the community are central to life and is reflected in the business as well, which is that try to maintaining the harmony and building the long-term relationship is more important than the individual successful. The next dimension we will look is masculinity and the femininity. So this dimensions is reflect whether a culture value traditional masculine traits like the competitiveness and achievement, or more female traits like caring for others and the quality of life. So for the masculine culture, like Japan is the high rank. So business culture are very competitive and the achievement in highly valued. The successful is often measured by the material gains or status. In contrast, the feminist culture like Sweden is a greater emphasis on the work-life balance and the quality of the relationship over the competitions. So business is more collaborative, and there is the focus on the consensus and caring for others. The next dimension we will discuss is about the uncertainty avoidance. Uncertainty avoidance will refer to how comfortable a culture is with the ambiguity and the uncertainty. High uncertainty avoidance culture prefer a clear rules and regulation and structured environment. However, the low uncertainty avoidance culture are more comfortable with flexibility and taking risks. Countries like Greece have the high certainty avoidance. People are prefer stability and are uncomfortable with the changes or unstructured situation. So in business, they try to avoid the risk and prefer to establish the process. Compared to the culture like Singapore, they has the low uncertainty avoidance. So in Singapore, right, actually the low uncertainty avoidance, people are more open to the innovation and changing. So the business are willing to take the risk and explore with the new opportunity, even there is the uncertainty involved. Our next dimension will talk about the long-term orientations and the short-term orientation. So this dimension normally will reflect whether a culture can focus on the future or the present. For the long-term oriented culture, prioritize is persisting and planning, while the short-term oriented culture focus on the immediate result. So the country like China, they will more prefer with the long-term orientation is important. So people normally will value the perseverance, long-term relationship, and sustain the effort even if the immediate reward is not visible. However, contrast with the US, there is the short-term orientation. People always look for the quick result, and the business success is the particular measured by the short-term achievement like quarterly profits. And the last dimension in this theory will be the inclusion and the restraint. This dimension actually we look at whether a society allow the relatively free gratifications of basic and the natural human drivers related to enjoying the life and having fun. which is surprise the gratification due to the strict social norm. So Mexico score very high in the indulgence, which is the people place very high value and the leisure, personal, enjoyment, and expressing their emotion freely. So in the business, this might translate to a focus on work-life balance and a relaxed attitude towards the rules. However, compared to the Malaysia, this is a more focus on the self-discipline and following the social norm. So people may surprise the desire and less likely to prioritize the leisure for the personal gratifications over the duty. So Hosford cultural dimension provide a useful framework to understanding the cultural difference and how they impact the business practice. By understanding this dimension, business can better navigate international markets and build more effectively and respectful relationship with the partners and the employees around the world. So thanks. Today, our class about for the culture and the international business. You are welcome to scan the QR codes to follow me in the LinkedIn. If today you no question to ask, in future, if you got any things want to bring for the discussion, welcome to drop me an email for the Q&A. If no question, I will pass back the stage to the Miss Alicia.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Gan. Okay, is there anyone to give a question about the explanation from Dr. Gan? If you have any questions, you can just raise your hand so I can unmute you, or you can just write your question in the chat. Okay, Dr. Gan, maybe I have one questions about this topic. So, what do you think about the challenges in the cross culture because in Indonesia we have many culture, many people from different countries, and then we have to face them to business in also in the school. So what do you think the big challenges in this about this cross culture?
Thanks, Alicia, for the questions. Okay, normally like Indonesia, Malaysia, we have many races of the culture, right? So the main challenges is about the language. When we talk, even we talk same the Malay, but Indonesia, the tones and Malaysia BM tones got a bit difference. So before we send, okay, we're talking about the international student. So normally they came to Malaysia, right? We will provide them to attend our Bahasa Kebangsaan to make sure that they're able to understand Malaysia national language for the first level and second level. So after we have the mutual language, from there we try to avoid the miscommunication and we will respect each other. So from the understanding the culture is more important.
Yeah, I agree with your explanation because sometimes not all people can speak in English or the basic language in the each country, right? Okay, maybe in from the all students, do you have any question about this about the cross culture? Because I think every day you will face the people with from the different background, like sometimes like in Indonesia we have we call it suku. We have suku Jawa and then we have suku Sunda. I think in Malaysia also there also have many culture like Indian, Chinese, and also in from Malaysian people.
Yes, agree with the Miss Alicia. Even in Penang, the Chinese, some of us will talk in Mandarin, some of us will talk in Hokkien. Like me, my Hokkien no good. So normally I went to the hawker center, I very difficult to order my foods because the uncle cannot understand Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I forced to learn one or two sentences how to order my food in Hokkien. So when I went to the hawker, I don't have the issue for order my favorite foods. So the culture and the language from there, I believe that if you go to a new place, we need to have the basic knowledge before we go to join the environment.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Oh, we have one questions from our students, from Alivia Ghost. She told, in respect to competency, what as a student should include in the study for better understanding of the international affairs?
Yes, Livia, your question is very good. I'm not sure that either you come from USM or not. So for this one, international affair, right? If we're talking about the student. So in USM, I know that they got one department to gather all the international students. So from there, they will start with sharing activities. They will ask the student to attend some classes, some cultural events to build the norms and the knowledge sharing. So I believe with this one, we'll get the better understanding. So when we across study, should be more fun because we know more friends and we know more culture about the countries. I hope I got answer your question, Olivia.
Okay. Maybe from the other students. Okay, they understand for your answer. Okay, maybe the other student wants to or have a questions about the class culture.
Never mind. If you're shy to ask here, you can drop me an email. My email address is there. Welcome. Welcome to follow my LinkedIn. And you will know that actually AIBPM is a great platform to gather all the students from different country, different background. From here, we also learn the different culture. We learn the understanding more. Okay, maybe we don't have the opportunity to travel to Indonesia, but we learn from Alicia and the teams, right? We also learn from other partners as well. So I hope you guys can long-term contribute in this great platform to get know each other, especially for the Nusantara project. You have the different participants from different country. We do the assignment together. And the process is not easy, but you will enjoy it. From there, we know how to communicate because our time zone is totally different. Maybe my night time is your morning. So the WhatsApp group, maybe during your rest, is keep popping the messages. Okay, please be patient. Only a short journey. After this, you will miss it so much. I follow Alicia team for few years already and I learned a lot.
Yeah, I have followed you too in the LinkedIn, so we can discuss about the many topic about the management and then the culture, because we every day facing the different culture, different peoples. So maybe if any student wants to ask about this topic, you can just raise your hand so I can unmute you, or you can also write your question in the chat box too. We will have 3 minutes for the Q&A sessions.
Before we end, I need to apologize. Today my situation is not so healthy, keep coughing, and I'm sorry I keep pause for few rounds. Maybe next round, our sharing will be more engaged. Maybe I think Alicia, next round, I need to put some quiz inside between the slide to ask them to answer. Then we can know more about that.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe if there are no question anymore for Dr. Gan, maybe we can end this class. So thank you so much for Dr. Gan Kia Hui for your big participation in this online class. And I hope your knowledge can give benefits for our students. So the student have a new knowledge about the cross culture and how we can to facing the differences background for the business in the future. Okay, thank you for all students who have to join this online class. So I will share the attendance link for these meetings. And we also will have a next online class in the next week. So I will share the schedule on the WhatsApp groups. So I hope that all of you can join again in our next online class. And okay, thank you and see you in our next online class. Thank you, Dr. Khan. Thank you all.